Brian Bickle, everybody. Patrick Kane, you know him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out to our hashtag What's Your Goal panel. I'm Adam Kempenaar. I'm the Blackhawks Senior Director of New Media and Creative Services. So I do all things digital and social media for the Blackhawks. We got a great group up here. First off, I wanted to ask how many people saw at least one of the What's Your Goal videos? It's got to be. How many people submitted a goal? Wow. I mean, we saw tens of thousands. I don't know where you guys were. You have to get on it for next season. You never know what could happen. Of course, for this panel, since it's a social media panel, we will be trying to take some of your questions via Twitter. So if you want to tweet, you can do that, hashtag What's Your Goal. You can also, of course, go over to the question booth over there and submit a question. We will try to get them in. Certainly, we want to try to get to as many as we can, but we have a lot to cover here as we're going to watch 5 of the What's Your Goal videos and talk about them. And I just wanted to give some numbers behind it real quick before we get to the guys you're here to hear from. But this campaign ended up reaching 44 million fans on Facebook. It was viewed a total of over 138 million times. That was just on Facebook. The videos were liked, commented on, or shared 607,000 times. On Twitter, 4.5 million impressions. So this whole campaign made an impression on you guys, obviously, in terms of the engagement we saw and the tweets and the likes and the shares, and that was really gratifying to see. I want to start with the guy who doesn't have a name card up here. That doesn't mean he's not important. He is Pete Hassan. He is our Senior Executive Director of Marketing for the Blackhawks. Woo! And Kaner, he's a fellow Buffalo guy.
Yes.
So you approve. We also have up here Dave Metcalf from Ogilvy and Mather, great agency here in Chicago. Been a partner of ours really since going back, I think, 2008 with the original My Goal, What's Your Goal, not the What's Your Goal, but My Goal and the One Goal spots. And Pete, I wanted to ask you first, just describe for everyone out there who's not familiar, what's the nature of the relationship between the Blackhawks and Ogilvy?
Well, you know, in 2008, when we opened up for review of all of our advertising, we had probably 35 to 40 agencies that submitted for the business, which was kind of shocking at that point. As you remember, 2005, 6, 7 wasn't a great time for the Blackhawks, but I think a lot of the agencies saw opportunity there. And so we whittled it down to 3 or 4 where we thought we had a lot of potential, and there was one that just kept standing out, and it was Ogilvy and Mather. And Ogilvy really, you know, an international agency, brought us kind of a new cachet, brought us a little bit of a swagger for our advertising, because we really did, we kind of had boutique, smaller agency before that. They brought us bench strength. They brought us a world of creative ability, and Dave and the team over there. We just saw a whole bunch of potential, and really from day one they have never disappointed us. And if you remember the first set of One Goal commercials, it was Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Patrick Sharp, guys skating up to the microphone and stating what their goal was back then. And it was kind of interesting take on something that John McDonough had brought up as part of our mission, which was one goal. It was John McDonough's idea to say, you know what, this team has one goal. It's to be the best. It's to be a Stanley Cup contender, winner every year. And really, we brought that to Ogilvy, and they took it and ran with it.
Well, Dave, Pete mentioned John McDonough. I remember in November, just this past November, Pete, myself, John, Jay Blunt going over for a meeting and talking to a group of your crew from Ogilvy, and you guys really had this kind of notion of taking it from the realm of the players giving their goals. We saw those ads this year, and as Pete said, over the years, and moving it to sort of a fan-based thing and trying to tap into that a little bit. So what was the spark really for that?
Yeah, as Pete said, I mean, we've been doing this for about 6 seasons now, and I think by now we all know what one goal means. I think these guys have done a great job in achieving it. But one of the challenges just to continue to evolve this one goal campaign is there's only so many ways that Patrick and Brian can say we want to win another Stanley Cup. So I feel like this year we just sat around and thought, well, what if we just ask a simple question at the end of the commercials, which is, what's your goal? And at first, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we'd get a single response, but all of a sudden on social media, there were many, many interesting responses that we were all kind of getting excited about. And at that point, we just knew we had to do something with it. So we decided the best thing to do is start fulfilling some of these fan goals in very unexpected ways. And we also said that no matter which one we do, the very first one we should do is the story about Christina, because it was absolutely amazing.
There she is. Christina. Fantastic. There she is. Well, I think that's a perfect segue. Why don't we go ahead and watch the first video? This is Christina. Here we go.
This is Christina. She was born with many challenges in life, one of which is she is blind. Christina heard the Chicago Blackhawks "What's Your Goal" TV ad. She told her mother that her goal is to attend a Hawks game at the United Center. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
My name is Patrick Sharp. I play with the Blackhawks, and I just want to welcome you to your first ever Blackhawks game.
Thank you.
Let's take one more step. We're actually on the ice right now.
Christina, what do you think so far about your first Blackhawks game?
I can barely believe what's happening. It's the best moment of my life.
Troy, I think the Hawks need to tap into Christina's level of excitement and get it going here. She scored!
So I'm going to go back to Dave for just a second here. One of the big questions we always get is how do you pick these? And I want you to expand on what you were just talking about, because of course there's no simple answer. I mean, a lot of times we're considering the practicality of the video, the visuals, what it's going to look like, which players are good fits and their availability. There's a lot of factors. But as you said, you wanted to start with this one. What was it about Christina's story that made it the essential one?
Well, I think that, I think her uncle posted the story, which is something that was, the story itself was so powerful that we couldn't have even imagined it ourselves. And I think that that's what we're really trying to do, is not just find fans that have interesting goals, but fans that, have challenges to overcome, fans that, I mean, this was something you could never script. So I think that's definitely one of the reasons we chose to lead with Christina.
Of course, you never really know how one of these videos is going to turn out until you shoot it. Sometimes you don't even know until after you've shot it and you're editing it. When did you know that this one was going to be special?
We were talking to an editor who was looking at all the footage, and he started breaking down into tears even before we saw the final piece. So that's when we knew we had something good. But our goal wasn't really to make people cry. It was to make people really feel uplifted after watching it. And there's an amazing power with setting a goal, and I think that just goes to show what can happen when you do set a goal and you're able to achieve it, especially with the help of the players.
Troy Murray, everybody. You're distracting, Troy. You know what, we'll fill here. Well, I was going to ask Troy a question. In the meantime, while he's pulling Christina up here, this is a surprise appearance, everybody, so very excited to see Christina.
Troy's taking over.
Well, you know what, while she's coming up here, Pete, I'll ask you. Yeah. You talked a lot with Sharpie during this whole process, obviously, from beginning, getting him on board. He's very eager to do it throughout the whole editing process, and then, of course, at the end, after the response. What were your conversations with Sharpie like?
Nobody cares right now, Adam.
I know. Story of my life.
Sit on the panel with us, Christina. Come on. Well, I mean, as you can see with Christina up here, really, I mean, it wasn't much to convince Patrick Sharp that this was something that was not only important for Christina and her family, but important for the Blackhawks to do something like this. Not just to achieve what the campaign was about, but to impact a fan's life. And really, what we've been looking at, what we're always looking at is moments like this. I mean, we're lucky to work in hockey. We say it all the time because we have the best players in sports. There's no doubt about it. We have the best people in sports. What you see on television in these ads, it's not scripted. It's not. We don't have to coach these guys. They have a common touch, and it's how they've been raised. It's how they all treat each other. It's how they treat us as employees and coworkers. This is just, you can't get this anywhere else. And we're so fortunate, and that's why we know we're fortunate, and that's why we try to do things that can enhance what we see every day. And it's how Brian Bickle treats a common fan that comes down to the locker room. It's how Patrick Kane goes out and treats fans when he goes out and does appearances. This isn't a show, folks. This is who they are, and it's why we appreciate everything that they do. It really is special to have. But to have an agency like Ogilvy, to have a team like the Blackhawks, to have players like these guys, to put it all together and form a campaign like this, it's lightning in a bottle. It really is.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. I mean, the players themselves come up with a lot of the ideas that we do when we shoot these. And I think it was Sharp's idea to actually greet Christina on the ice and have that moment, which without that, I don't think it would have been as powerful as it could have been.
Troy, I'll go to you for a second.
Troy, since you hijacked the whole thing, go ahead, give it to Troy.
Rightfully so.
This was not scripted, and they're probably going, like, where is he going and what's he doing? But when I had the opportunity to have Christina up in our radio booth, this is how excited she was when she was up in the booth. And it's pretty incredible. And as athletes, I know that we feel very fortunate in what we have in life and what we've been able to do and able to accomplish. And I think it's magnified from what these guys have said, the opportunity for us to give back and give people some of their dreams. A My Goal segment that they had is so emotional. And I'm not even going to look over at Christina here because I'll get emotional. But it's pretty incredible to see the passion that she had to come to the United Center. She had no idea that she was going to meet Patrick Sharp on the ice at the United Center. It wasn't scripted. There was nothing staged other than what they were having as far as their agenda and what she was going to do. She came up to our booth, and you saw the video. For her to be excited like she was, to have that passion, she wanted to come to the United Center. She wanted to see her Chicago Blackhawks. She wanted to be a part of the experience and to understand the emotion in the building, the national anthem. And Christine actually, when she was in the booth, she actually sang. She loves to sing. And she came up and we let her sing on your...
Adam, Troy can attest, nobody's ever that excited to meet John Weideman. Ever. And I like that we're 15 minutes in and Patrick and Brian haven't said a damn thing.
And they're fine with that. Christina, what about you? How do you feel after that video and being up here?
Christina, Adam asked you a question, how you felt about being a part of the video and how you felt after your experience. You have a microphone right in front of you.
Well, I was feeling so happy. I felt like crying. And I was so happy. I wanted to sing my heart out. And Patrick Kane was right next to me, and I held his sleeve. And I met Patrick Sharp, and I felt like crying because I was like, oh! And I wanted to sing opera, and I was like, and I was like, oh my God, I want to sing opera to you guys, and I want to sing German because I feel like so happy, and I want to give a special thanks to all my Blackhawks organizations for making this happen to me. And
thank you, Christina.
thank you guys. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much. And Troy Murray, you've done a great job in making this happen to me. And I want to thank Uncle Bob for making this happen and Patrick Sharp. And I want to wish Patrick Sharp good luck to the Dallas Stars. I hope he does well.
Thank you. I think we can all go home after that. I mean, how do we beat that?
It honestly doesn't get better than that. So for us as athletes and as a broadcaster now, to be able to give back and to allow a person like Christina to experience her dream with this My Goal campaign, it's incredible. For the Blackhawks organization, who do just a phenomenal job in their community outreach, to have these type of stories, and they're not looking for a pat on the back. The Blackhawks are not looking for an opportunity, to make the newspapers or to make the media outlets. They're looking for an opportunity to make something special happen for certain people, and an opportunity for them to live a dream and to come down and experience what a lot of people like us, like myself, take for granted. And Christina doesn't take it for granted. You heard her voice. She's got passion in it. She's just a wonderful young lady. She loves Patrick Sharp like most other ladies in the room. But now Patrick Kane has the best. No. Who's got the best hair? It was Andrew Shaw said he's got the best hair now.
That's awful. Shaw's hair. Yeah, I mean, I think, first off, I don't even know what I'm doing up here. Christina stole the show. It was awesome, like Troy said, to hear her passion and her energy, just to be able to do what she did and go on the ice and meet Sharpie and be part of the Blackhawks for just one game. It makes us feel privileged as players to be able to do that for 82 games and even more into the playoffs too. So, like Troy said, this is what it's all about. The reason we play hockey and the reason we do this is for you guys. And if there's no fans, if there was no one like Christina, we wouldn't have a job and we wouldn't even be up here talking to you guys. So we appreciate all the feedback and the support you guys give us. But for us to be able to do something like this and give back to Christina or anyone or all these What's Your Goal ads, I mean, it makes it even that more special. So the Blackhawks and Dave have great ideas, and like Pete said, when it's put all together, lightning strikes. So it's fun to watch those.
Everybody, another big round of applause for Christina. Thank you, Christina. And let's go ahead and get to the next video.
This is Ryan. Ryan saw the Blackhawks What's Your Goal ad, and he told his dad someday he wants to make it to the NHL. When I was his age, I had the same goal. So let's surprise him on his backyard rink and see if we can help him out. Hey Ryan. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm Brian Pickle from the Chicago Blackhawks. You surprised?
Yeah.
I heard you have a goal one day to play in the NHL. Let's see what you got. Whoa, what position do you play?
Left wing.
No way. I play left wing. Try to move your hands down a little farther too. Get some more power behind it. There we go. Look at that. Opens and punches. You can do that? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's it.
I think it's time for some hot chocolate.
Cheers. Nice.
All right. So Brian, now we'll talk to you a little bit. We'll talk to you. How was the cocoa, first of all?
The cocoa was really good. A lot of whipped cream, as you can see.
We were talking about Sharpie and Pete, talking with him about that first video with Christina. This one came out after Christina, obviously. I'm wondering, after you saw that one and then this idea got pitched to you, were you even a little bit more eager to say yes?
Yeah, definitely. You could see, the emotions that, Sharp and Christina had. Mine was in a little different side. I think we had, a little bit more fun. I remember when I was a kid, when I was about his age, my goal was, to one day make the NHL, having a backyard rink and shooting millions of pucks, and just give him a little bit of pointers and just have a little bit of fun how I did it when I was a kid and how I do it now. it was a great experience. He didn't know I was coming. He was kind of, we had to do a couple takes because he was like frozen about half the time. He didn't think it was true, but he kind of loosened up. I met him a couple times after that commercial, and he kind of opened up. But it was a good day.
But we can attest, I mean, it was a true surprise. Brian came over in an SUV, we parked out front, and the staff was kind of like, wait a minute, we're not ready for you yet. And he jumped out of the car and went up there, and it was such a surprise. But, you know, with this one, you know, we had Christina. I think everybody knew that Cammie was an opportunity for us down the road. And one thing we didn't want to do is start to make these too much in one direction.
Too heavy,
too heavy, too emotional the whole time. I mean, we wanted to make an impact, but we didn't want them all heading in one direction. Dave, maybe you can, you know, further that thought.
That's absolutely true, and I feel like this one felt just really fun, and the surprise element was great. I think we told this kid that we were just filming a documentary on kids with backyard rinks, so we told him to skate around for hours until we finally had Brian after practice. And I told Brian right before he got up there, I said, now he's going to know who you are, but make sure you say, hi, I'm Brian Bickle from the Chicago Blackhawks. But we had no idea how stunned this kid was going to be. Ryan was like a deer in the headlights, but it turned out pretty great.
Brian, I wanted to ask you, I know in your time in Ottawa in junior, I think at some point you were a clubhouse boy for the Senators, right? How old were you when that happened?
I was actually around 17. I took a school class.
A cool class.
It was pretty cool, actually.
Class in being cool.
I wasn't drafted by the Blackhawks yet. I was playing my minor career in Ottawa, and I was doing dirty laundry and picking up after the Ottawa Senators, and so I thought it was cool. I haven't got drafted yet. Didn't know I was going to make the NHL or anything like that. But, you know, I cleaned Haas's laundry, Vermette's laundry when he was there.
I played in Ottawa. Did you clean mine?
No, I didn't play. You're way too old for my day.
Troy set you up for that one.
I wasn't even a thought then.
You have a point there, but...
Well, Brian, I was asking because up to that point, did you ever have an experience anywhere close to this in terms of meeting an NHL player, getting to do something like that, be that up close and personal?
No, I met a couple of when I grew up and I was a Leafs fan, I met Wendell Clark when I was younger. I met Gretzky in an elevator one time. But to be, just see the routine of, the players that, such at a young age where, what they do on a regular basis, how they do it, and the professional status they did, it kind of, opened my eyes and really pushed me to get here. And I was, fortunate to have that experience when I was at a young age, and I'm happy. Maybe one day, one of you guys might be cleaning our laundry one day if you want to take a school class. But, it's cool. It was a good experience, and I'll never forget it.
Well, let's get to the third video. I'm sure you guys remember Alexis and the Girl Scout cookies at Jonathan Tave's house. So this one was the first Blackhawks TV production, though obviously working really closely with Ogilvy in terms of trying to make sure we were kind of keeping the same identity and the same through line through these videos. But going from the emotion of Christina and the fun and sort of the magic of Ryan in the backyard rink, we wanted to just really do something funny, legitimately funny and cute. And when we saw Alexis's video on Facebook and her goal, we knew this one was a slam dunk. So let's go ahead and watch Alexis.
This is Alexis. She's 5. When the Blackhawks asked fans, "What's your goal?" her mom posted this.
Sell Girl Scout cookies to my favorite Blackhawks player, Jonathan Tave.
Who are you getting to meet right now?
Jonathan Tave.
And what are you gonna do?
Sell some cookies.
Hello?
Anyone home?
Who's there?
Let's talk business here, Alexis. How much were the prices here?
You don't need to pay yet.
No?
You don't need to
Get
pay.
like a financing option or something? So you're saying if we send like 100 boxes to Sharpie that he's gonna have to pay when the boxes show up at his house? I like that idea.
Another day, another patch, huh?
Oh no. Come on. That was more than a little cookie.
think the best part of that video by far is the genuine frustration on Taser's face when he sews the patch on wrong. Like, you know he was seriously trying to get it right, which is what we love about him. Actually, my first question is for you, Kaner. Is there any chance, knowing Jonathan the way you do, that with his strict diet regimen, he actually ate any of those Girl Scout cookies?
Not a chance. Not a chance he ate those cookies.
So, Pete, I want you to go back to something we were talking about. You spoke eloquently about how truly appreciative we are of the players we have. And with that said, and with that understanding, there was still a point in this discussion about this video where we said, are we really going to ask Jonathan to let strangers come to his house and come inside and pitch him Girl Scout cookies? You know, Jonathan's a great guy and he's open to doing a lot of things, but this isn't just a meet and greet at the United Center or something like that. Are we going to do it? Of course we did, and well, he said yes.
Yeah, and it was maybe a week after Cranes Chicago had posted the picture of his new house right in the publication. He came to me, he goes, "Can they do this? Like, everybody's gonna know where I live now." And then I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh man, now I gotta go ask him if we can actually shoot a commercial there. Oh boy. But as gracious as he is, as all these guys are, he thought about it for a second, and I said, look, we'll make sure nobody knows the street. Nobody knows exactly which house it is, but he was phenomenal about it. You know, and then the other part is Andrew Shaw, who, you know, normally these guys go running when they see me come towards the locker room because they know I'm going to ask for something. But you know, Shawzy's always one to kind of get in the front of the line to try to help out, and he wasn't going to be the main focus of this spot, but I said to him, you know, we need a little favor. We need you to escort a young Girl Scout to Jonathan Toews' house. And he's like, what? This sounds sordid. But you know, he was phenomenal about it, and he almost stole the show on the whole thing. So, but yeah, Jonathan was incredible about opening up his home. Obviously, Lindsay, his girlfriend, and the dog, and everybody was so gracious. And again, Ogilvy having the vision of all this, and then Banner Collective, it's how we all can, well, truth be told, we ran out of money on our budget to continue to do anything more, but no, it's a really great collaboration on what, and kind of an insight on what happens with the Blackhawks internally with our creative team. So it all kind of came together.
Well, the surprises are just going to keep coming here. We're going to bring out a special guest, Alexis, everybody, and her mother, Amy.
Come on in here. You got cookies on you right now? I need some cookies.
Ready to talk into the mic? Wow, you got a
Alexis,
lot of fans.
I don't know if she can hear
Good
me,
job.
but how's the vest? Are the patches okay?
Alexis, how's the patch? Did the patch work out? Did Jonathan get it right?
It's really good.
So was it fun to have Jonathan, you know, let you into his house?
Yeah.
I got a question. Who was your favorite, Jonathan or Andrew?
Jonathan Tate.
She's being diplomatic.
Simple answer.
That's smart. Well, actually, Amy, if you could jump on the mic here real quick, too. I wanted to ask about the response that you guys got to this. When this video actually broke, what was that like?
It was crazy. I think I got a text about 10 minutes before it was posted, and literally my Facebook just blew up with, I mean, I had reporters calling me and radio stations, and everybody just thought it was really cute, and it was way overwhelming, more than we ever could have imagined.
And how was Alexis after this? I mean, what was her response to all that attention?
To her, she has 2 new friends. You know, she's sitting here next to Patrick Kane and Brian Bickle, and I'm shaking, and, you know, she's like, oh, cool, you know, 2 new friends, you know, it's not a big deal to her because she doesn't get that off factor just yet.
When you guys talk about this as a family, what really stands out from that day? What's the most memorable part of it?
I can't believe he let us come to his house. I remember
Neither.
actually one of the producers said to Shaw, now if he doesn't let you in his house, just make something up. And I remember looking over to Shawzer and saying, does he even know we're coming? And he's like, well, he knows you're coming, but he doesn't know we're coming.
So last one then for Alexis. Do you have any plans for another goal, or you got more cookies to sell?
I want to sell Girl Scout cookies to my mom's favorite Blackhawks player.
Who's that?
The goalie.
What's his name?
Goalie Crawford.
We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
And that's a guy. And that's a guy who will probably actually eat them.
Alexis, everybody. Thank you, Alexis.
Thanks, Alexis.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Okay. Thank you.
Exit stage left.
Our panel's definitely getting less cute.
Speak for yourself, Adam.
And Troy Murray, we have to say goodbye to him after his wonderful contributions here on the panel. Thank you. You have another event to go to. We're going to see you off.
I do. I got a photo shoot.
Photo shoot. But don't go. Don't leave.
Yeah,
You'll get a photo with him later.
Don't leave here just yet, but
Troy
we'll
Murray.
be at a photo shoot. Thank you, everybody.
The great Troy Murray.
Christina. Love ya. Thank you.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
That brings us to the fourth video, which was another very special one, Cammie. And this is one, if you bought, love you, Troy. If you guys saw the 1 Goal 2 book, 1 Goal 3 coming out in a few months, of course, which we're very happy about. But if you saw 1 Goal 2, there was a chapter about the Stanley Cup and the magic of it and sharing it with the city. And a goal that came up, it was on a bucket list actually for Cammie, was to touch the Stanley Cup, and our team president John McDonough on his Cup Day made that happen, and we have a great picture of that and a story about it in the book. And so when we saw a video posted on Facebook that described Cammie's new goal and how much she'd kind of grown, and she wanted to skate with her favorite player, Duncan Keith, we saw that and instantly flashed back to 2013 in the book, and just thought it would be so neat to see how she has grown and enjoy that magical experience with her. And fortunately, we were able to make it happen. Another big part of it was she suffers from Rett syndrome, which causes several impairments in terms of being able to speak and walk and eat and even breathe. And we knew that would make for some interesting challenges in terms of shooting the video that Dave can touch on here in a moment. But we also knew that one of the real benefits of this video would be being able to shed some light and draw some attention to Rett syndrome, which we tried to do as well. So with that, let's go ahead and watch Cammie.
This is Cammie. Cammie was born unable to walk or even speak, but that hasn't stopped her from smiling. When Cammie heard, "What's your goal?" her parents said nothing would make her happier than to score a goal with an assist from her favorite player, me. Well, I've got a surprise for Cammie. We're going to teach her how to skate for the very first time.
Hello.
Cammie?
This is Cammie.
How's it going? Good to meet you. I heard you had a goal today. To score a goal with me out on the ice? You're gonna need a pair of skates to do that. Nice and tight. How does that feel? That cool?
I have lost 5 teeth. How many have you lost?
Oh, I lost 10 teeth.
I love the Blackhawks.
I love the Blackhawks too. Should we take a picture? Looks good, eh? You wanna go skate? You're not cold, are you? You gotta keep your legs warm. Oh, yeah.
She's smiling.
All right, let's give it a shot here.
Go, Cammie, go!
Go, Cam! Okay, you ready? We're gonna do it like Patrick Kane. Stare him down. Forehand, backhand. And then you give him a chop like that. skating, don't you?
So I actually want to start with Patrick and Brian. I am hesitant to use the word performance because I don't want it to seem like anything Duncan was doing was artificial at all. I think it really comes through how genuine it was. But when you saw this video and you saw that side of Dunks, anyway, what did you guys think?
Well, I mean, we all know Dunks has a lot of different personalities, but you know, just watching that, I mean, you could tell it's just all genuine, and you could tell he was really into it. I think the whole thing with that commercial, it keeps you intrigued the whole time to really what's coming next, and it's just it's a really good story from Dunks, you know, meeting Cammie to you know, taking the pictures, talking with her, and then bringing her out on the ice until she actually does finally reach her goal and actually score a goal with an assist from him. So just watching it there, it kept me intrigued the whole time. Obviously, a great job filming and doing the commercial, but I think the whole reason it keeps you intrigued is because of Dunks and the way he performs throughout it. And you know, knowing him, it's all genuine. It all comes from the heart, and he did a great job.
Dave, take
Adam,
us behind this. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Adam, I was just going to say it was totally genuine, but a funny side part of that is Corey Crawford had come off the ice a little bit late that day, and he was still in the locker room when we came back from shooting. And in the Johnny's locker room where Corey sits, there's kind of like a box that's a post that's covered in wood, and he was on the left side of it, and Duncan was on the right. And Duncan came in, and he's like, I think I have a future in this. I feel really comfortable in front of the camera, and he's like, I'm really good at this. I'm really good. And Duncan couldn't see Corey because of the box, and they were kind of like both facing out. And Corey's looking at me going. So Duncan could not see him. I'm trying to keep a straight face and go, Duncan, yes, you were excellent. I mean, that was a heck of a, I mean, you were so genuine. It was great. And Corey's making me laugh, and I just couldn't. He's like, no way, no.
Well, hopefully he's changed his tune. Dave, what about you guys? Any other nuggets from the production on this one?
Yeah, this was a great one. I mean, there's a lot of funny stories that came out of this one. I remember, I mean, by that time, Duncan had seen the first few videos that we did, so he knew how it was all going to play out, and he's pretty competitive. He said, yeah, I'm a much better actor than Sharpie, so it's no problem. But honestly, when we first told him what was going to happen, he was a little bit nervous. I mean, this was a girl that faces many challenges, but we just ended by saying, you know what, she's the cutest girl you've ever seen in your life, and just be yourself. And he totally was. His charm is what makes that. And the only other challenge we really had with this is that her goal was to actually score a goal with an assist from Duncan Keith, and we weren't sure quite how to pull that off until we started talking to her dad. And he had this contraption that he used to help her walk. And we thought, well, what if we just use that to help her skate? And I think that also, once we got that on, and once we actually got her out of her wheelchair and onto the ice, that made it really incredible.
You know, in the session before this, in the DVD that the NHL is putting out, I think Patrick Sharp was in an interview talking about the first cup you guys won and how you're all kind of single, and maybe had some girlfriends. And the second one, you had wives and more serious girlfriends. And the third one was all these kids now. And I think, you know, Duncan being a dad and Colton being so important to him, those fatherly instincts came out right away, and he was the right one to do this, and he really jumped to the forefront because of that. I think he's really grown into his role as a dad, and those instincts, as you saw on the spot, really just kicked in.
Well, perfect transition into our last video here as we talk about fatherly instincts. The last one we're going to show is the video that closed the campaign, the firefighter one with Patrick Kane, and let's go ahead and watch that one now.
This is Courtney. Her goal was to have a Blackhawks player deliver dinner to her husband and his fellow firefighters.
He is a wonderful husband and an amazing dad, and he loves his job as a firefighter paramedic, and he absolutely loves the Blackhawks. It is my hope that he could be surprised in a really awesome way, because no one on this planet deserves it more than he does.
So today, we're gonna bring the boys some pizza. Hello? We got a food delivery for Kevin O'Leary. the guy?
Come on in.
What's going on, man?
Hi, how are you?
Pat Kane, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Just
meet
got
you.
some pizza for you here.
You know, the funniest thing is we actually ordered pizza for dinner.
We're supposed to pick it up in like 10 minutes.
I thought they were going to ignore that one. Guess who I'm having dinner with?
Hey, Courtney, how's it going? This is Patrick Kane. Oh, he seems pretty calm, pretty relaxed, just like a firefighter would be. A lot of uncles and friends and everything are firefighters. It's kind of like one of the main things to do if you grow up in South Buffalo is trying to become a firefighter. You know?
Yeah.
I'll back and drive that.
What do you think, Chief? Do you think we can find a place to hang this thing?
We appreciate everything you guys do too. You know, you're as big of a part as we are to the city of Chicago. So it's an honor for me to come down here.
It's very touching that she thought to do this for me and the guys I work with. I was very touched that she would do that. So I owe her a huge hug and a kiss tomorrow morning when I get home.
So, Kaner, maybe the only advantage to your injury there late in the year was the fact that you had a little bit more free time. And we loved this one when we saw it come across social media because of the fact that it was Courtney not wanting a goal for herself, but wanting the goal for her husband and for all he does for their family and the unique nature of the firefighter angle. And of course, as I said earlier, having the right fit with players. And Patrick, you touched on this a little bit in the video, but this was one that you had a real personal connection to, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, where I come from in Buffalo,
Go Bills.
If you, most of my friends anyways, mostly become cops and firemen. So I grew up knowing a lot of different firefighters. A lot of my dad's friends are firefighters, and this was pretty cool for me too because of actually what happened in 2010 when I had the Stanley Cup in Buffalo when I went up in the fire truck and got stuck up there for an hour. Then they told me I was going to have to walk down, and I was just like, this isn't happening, but we finally got it down. But so it's cool to kind of reenact that a little bit and talk about that, and just also be with the firefighters of Chicago. I thought it was a good spot.
We have about 4 or 5 minutes left here, and I want to bring up our final special guest. We have Kevin O'Leary with us, the firefighter. Come on up, Kevin. We all love Brian Bickle. So, Kevin, I remember this, and you were talking to us about how silly we all look. There's 4 or 5 of us trying to be inconspicuous outside a firehouse with a bunch of cameras waiting for Patrick to pull up, and we kind of think we're hiding well, but it turns out we weren't hiding well at all, were we?
No, our firehouse has a lot of windows. So we did see all the camera crews out there, and the lieutenant actually went out there to see if you guys needed help with anything, and they just said, no, we're just waiting for somebody. And so we went back in, and we're just kind of watching through the windows, and then we see this big black SUV pull up on the front apron, and we were all still looking out the window, and the battalion chief goes, Patrick Kane just got out of that SUV.
You were definitely, we saw it on your face there, a little bit stunned. Now that you've had some time to process all of this, what do you remember most about that evening?
I'm still pretty much just as stunned, to be honest. I think the most fun part was just watching it happen and just enjoying everything about it. It was so much fun, and everybody's been so cool since then.
Kaner, I wanted to ask you real quick. We were, of course, going on, Pete and I, about how great it is to work with guys like you. But one of the things I've always appreciated about you in particular is how easygoing you are in situations like this. And Kevin, you touched on this as we talked throughout the night, that Patrick just hung out there for an hour or more. And even when his shoot was over and he could have kind of just hung out in the SUV and waited to go home, he got back out and signed autographs and talked to you guys. And I just want to know from you, Patrick, kind of where that ease comes with when you're talking to fans like this.
Well, I think sometimes that's the best part about it is not necessarily the commercial or what gets shot on tape, but sometimes kind of the behind the scenes stuff where you actually get to know Kevin and his family and also some other firefighters there. that were part of it too, and that were excited to just be there. So, and then also, seeing the firehouse, seeing the truck, actually being in the truck, talking to them about their everyday job and what actually happens, different things like that, I think just kind of interest me a little bit. So, I think all of our guys are pretty much like that, but it's fun for me to kind of do the behind the scenes stuff and actually get to know the person you're working with.
In the progression of the campaign, you have these human interest stories, but one of the things we did talk about internally was how important the firefighters and policemen of Chicago are to all of us, and really the thread that they kind of weave through everything that we do. And it comes out even more so when you win a Stanley Cup and you see these guys helping us out on every turn, wherever these crazy party animals took the cup. The police were there for us, the firemen were helping us. So it was a no-brainer, really, to look at this goal that came through and say, this is absolutely something we have to do. The Chicago Fire and Chicago Police and all the suburban fire and police men and women do an amazing job, and we thought it was just an opportunity for us to kind of shed a little light on that.
Absolutely. On that note, Kevin, thank you for coming up, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, it was a really good thing. They're really good. Thanks.
So just one final note, Pete, myself, Dave, we get asked a lot, kind of, when's the next one coming? What are the next goals going to be? And, you never know. And you just heard these guys and heard their insights and know how good they are. And if you have a goal that you want to submit involving either one of these guys, we'll certainly listen and consider it. #What'sYourGoal. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.